in December, Kathy Vara. It is, again, a warm day here. It's still a warm evening outside, so if you step out at this hour, you're going to feel nice and mild. May not need that jacket for another couple hours as we hit those upper 80s in the Inland Empire today. Orange County also looking at the same. 70s at the beaches and 80s for the valleys. In terms of whether or not we broke any records, we broke one in Riverside. We hit 88, and the old record was 87 in 1958. It's been quite some time since we've been this hot in December. Downtown LA was pretty close, just about 1 degree away from tying an old record from 1950. Otherwise, it's just, again, another warm day with temperatures still in the 70s in the valleys right now. So Santa Clarita, Van Nuys, about 73 and 70 degrees outside, and into the night, we stay nice and clear. But the change tomorrow is going to be a slight dip in temperatures, just by a degree or two, nothing too much. So we are expecting things to still stay warm. LA basin temperatures around 10 o'clock, 72 and 76 as you head outside. So clear night ahead. We're going to talk about your 7-day forecast and what to expect in terms of a change on the way. Back to you.
All right. Thank you. You should
look like me and Kathy getting ready for the holidays. All right. Well, Christmas is almost here, and it does not feel like it is winter out there at all. We continue to see these above average highs, especially inland where Ontario, you were in the 80s today. Getting to the 80s again tomorrow. Quite a couple of degrees cooler here. We were in the upper 80s today, so it'll be about 84 tomorrow into Friday, about 82. And then look at how we cooled down to the 70s. Still the same weather pattern of a ridge of high pressure starting to shift east and allowing things to start to cool down as that starts to leave our area. So for now, we still have those light offshore winds that are giving us this warm weather. But as you take a look, it's really not strong. Light is in 10 miles per hour. You might not even feel it right now in Santa Clarita, but it's enough to make it feel pretty warm out there. It's still in the 70s at this hour, and it's 7:14, and the sun has set. So those winds are really doing a number on the temperatures. And tomorrow we are going to see a little bit of a shift. Look at what happens as I put this in motion. We still have a little bit of an offshore wind through those passes, but then on the opposite direction into LA, Long Beach, and Irvine, we've got an onshore wind. So that is ocean air blowing inland. That'll help cool things down a bit by a few degrees. And then we'll continue to see that trend as we head into the weekend. And the reason is because this ridge of high pressure is starting to shift. It was kind of parked offshore for a while, and now it's starting to make its movement inland. Up in the north, they still have some rain and mountain snow for the Pacific Northwest, but south of that, couple of ridges moving in, and that's going to keep us dry straight through next week. So really no change in the weather pattern. It's feeling nice and warm for us in SoCal for December, and that's how it's going to be again tomorrow. LA Basin forecast, Los Angeles 83. We've got 77 for Long Beach, 78 in Irvine, 80 for you in Anaheim with some low to mid 80s in the Inland Empire. 64 degrees for you in the mountains. Not quite as warm as today, but still above average. And we've got those 70s in Lancaster and Victorville. Don't think we're going to break any records tomorrow, but we're definitely going to feel warm through Thousand Oaks, Oxnard with 78 and 80, 84 in Van Nuys and in Santa Clarita. Now, as we look forward, we are definitely going to see the change, but it's going to be a gradual one, and it's one that's going to keep us above average. So average highs, once again, mid 60s to upper 60s in LA and Orange County. We're going to be in the 70s the whole week, so some 80s tomorrow for the last day. Then we'll take it down to the upper 70s and continue that drop to the mid 70s and lower 70s all through next week. Hanukkah on Sunday, about 73 degrees in LA, 67 for you at the beaches, so nice and comfortable here for that holiday. We've got things looking really great, too, for the valleys, where things are going to be in the 80s for the next couple days, 70s to follow Saturday and Sunday, followed by upper 70s and 80s on Monday through Wednesday. So we continue to stay pretty mild and above average for at least 7 days here. No major changes to the desert teaser, 70s and 60s for you. And the mountain forecast coming in the 60s all throughout the week. No major changes for you either. Cool starts to the day, and then we get that warm afternoon finish. That has been a look at your forecast. We will take a break and return after this. Kathy, it's December, right? But it hasn't felt like it. It's felt more like summer out there with a lot of 80s. And the good thing is we don't have any watches or warnings for heat because overnight we are allowed to cool things down. So 50s and 60s at this hour. We continue to see the cool down as we head to the morning hours. So waking up tomorrow to clear skies, 70s on the way too as we head to the lunchtime hour. And a look at the basin by the afternoon shows some upper 70s on the way. So typically this time of year, like we've been mentioning, it's a lot cooler. Normal temperature is about 67 in the valleys, but for tomorrow, another day above average at about 83 degrees. So the above average heat continues. How long does this last? I'll let you know coming up in your 7-day forecast, as well as mapping it out neighborhood by neighborhood. We will tell you all about that here coming up, Kathy. There's a lot going on here.
All right, Shanna, thank you so much. Here, too, we have a big escalation of the standard.
Okay, so this is kind of the layer weather that we have here, starting off cool in the mornings, and then we get the much warmer temperatures in the afternoons. Los Angeles, for example, we had some 80s today. We're going to have some 80s tomorrow, well above average by about 10 to 15 degrees, sometimes even 20 degrees warmer than average. And as we head to Friday, notice how temperatures start to drop. The trend will be in the 70s the rest of the weekend and beyond. And we are in December, so this is much warmer than average. And the reason for that is we have a couple systems moving to our north, ridge of high pressure staying in place, and then another one right behind the one we're seeing right now. So a lot of mild weather on the way. December warmth continues. We've got a slightly cooler day tomorrow by a few degrees, but these above average highs continue into the weekend and beyond that for several days ahead. So clear skies here overnight, letting things stay cool. The winds have died down, so look at how there's nothing there, but we still have a little bit of offshore wind to contend with here tonight into tomorrow. And then we've got an onshore wind moving in. So the lower elevations from Los Angeles through Pomona, Riverside, actually, looking at an ocean air moving inland. That is that cooler air that will help bring those temperatures down. But still through those passes and canyons, we may see a very light offshore wind, keeping things clear for you in Santa Clarita and Ventura County. Into Thursday night we go. We don't really have much wind going on. And again, it's northwest definitely has been really busy with atmospheric river kind of flooding and rain while we've been very dry. Kind of hard to believe there's two different kind of weather here. And then right behind that, we have another ridge of high pressure that will keep that to the north. Northern California may get a little bit of rain, but Southern California, complete opposite. We're expecting dry weather here through next week. So what you're seeing tomorrow, pretty much the trend all the way through the weekend. Not as warm as what we saw today, but still well above average in the Inland Empire with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. 80s for you in Anaheim, about 80 degrees tomorrow. We've got West Covina coming in at 82. Downtown LA, 83 with 84 in Van Nuys, some upper 70s to low 80s in Ventura County with Oxnard and Thousand Oaks at 78 and 80 degrees. Lancaster, Victorville, about 72 degrees each. A mild Thursday all around. So if you're starting the morning off early, know that things are still going to be on the cool side with some 50s on the way, but then we start to see those temperatures go up hour by hour with the sunshine on the way. And then notice how Friday, Saturday, we have a little bit of fog moving in. So that's going to bring those temperatures down out of the 80s and into the 70s. Continuing to see these very mild temperatures into next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the low to upper 70s. Hanukkah's on Sunday, temperatures very mild. 60s at the beaches, 70s for you in LA. Into the valleys we go with 80s for the next couple days with 70s to follow. And then we're back up to the upper 70s, low 80s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No umbrellas for you this week, everybody. We are dry unless you want to use it for the sunshine. That's a good idea. Protect that skin. We've got lots of sun all the way through the deserts as well as the mountains. No complaints here in Southern California. If you need that winter weather, head east, head north. Everywhere else is looking cool, but we're looking dry. That's been a look at your forecast. Over to Olivia now with sports.
All right, Shanna.